Hello, SpeedGaming. Welcome to the No Logic tournament of A Link to the Past Randomizer of 2022. This is a winner's bracket match of Game 2 between Malmo and RedKitsune8. And both are very skilled runners, and I'm really excited to see how this match is going to turn out. But Malmo did take the first match pretty decisively, but No Logic being a very difficult mode, sometimes when things go wrong, they go very wrong. So I don't think that the previous match was representative of Red's skill. So we'll just have to see what happens here. We get the divergence from the start. Link's house versus the Sanctuary start. Key on the Hylia Island. I'm curious if anyone will go for that. But so far, not. Malmo is doing a clip to get to the man under the bridge. It's good to get these out of the way checks done early because if you put them off, they'll probably never get done. So just hearts for the tier 1 tree pull, that's kind of unfortunate. And hearts for the bush crab as well, that's not helpful for the start. So Malmo is setting up a swim clip, and this will take her directly into Ice Rock Cave. And she gets it very quickly. So for those who are not familiar with No Logic, the mode is a mode where items are placed with no regard for accessibility or beatability, and the rule set that we play by allows us to use several major glitches, almost all of them, except for a few very powerful ones that would defeat the fun of the game, but almost everything is allowed in this format. There are 2 of each rod in the pool, 2 fire rods and 2 ice rods available. And this is done for a number of reasons. I personally think it makes it more enjoyable. And the rules also state that in addition to collecting the 7 crystals, you must defeat all 7 crystal bosses, which sounds obvious, but that is not always easy to do both, and certainly not on the same trip. So Malmo found a sword on her route. Sword early is extremely nice. Swords can be used for a number of things other than the intended purpose. There are a variety of glitches that you can do with a sword or that are enhanced by having a sword. Getting an early Kakariko play from Red. I think this is somewhat typical of his route. So Malmo got bombs from the tree pull. I think that was a tier 3 or a tier 2. That's really nice to have early. This Red had to farm bombs from the bonk rocks by the fortune teller. Shovel, blue cane, and the mushroom in the well for Red. The blue cane can be a nice safety to have for certain situations, but it is not really a glitching item, unfortunately. Mushroom may be seen to set an index later, but hopefully not, but there is a way to do that. And when I say setting an index, there's a variable in the game called the Ancilla Search Index, which we can use to mislot items for glitches, and we will probably be seeing some of that later. Malmo's setting up a DMA, or Death Mountain Ascent. This is a clip to get into the Old Man Rescue Cave without using a glove. It's a very common technique in RMG speedruns of the vanilla game. The red is saving the chicken in the bar. You'll love to see it. It's an old meme. Bow in the library. Bow is a really good item. It can be used to help with the glitches in addition to being red's first, like, decent weapon. Also, depending on the crystal layout, sometimes, depending on what items you have, the bow can be one of the harder items to skip. But Malmo, unfortunately, gets soft locked out of bounds and has to save and quit. Not a huge deal at all, just a minor time loss. But another thing about this mode, if you're new to it, is that it is rolled with key sanity. So one of the results of that is we do not know which dungeons have the pendants or crystals until we either get a map or talk to Sahasrara or the bomb shop. Meanwhile, red into desert. Well, Malmo has done a DMD or Death Mountain descent to check the graveyard ledge, and now she's doing a Houlihan. The Moon Pearl in desert. Early Moon Pearl is nice. The Moon Pearl is just one of many luxuries that you may or may not have during a no logic seed. It's certainly not required, but it probably is a relief to see. The red is setting up a quadrant glitch. Now what this does is it desyncs you from your coordinates in the game so that when you take a transition, the game does not handle it properly. So this will allow him to check the right side of desert without unlocking the door. Meanwhile, Malmo is doing South Shore from the Houlihan. Believe that was a small key to Skullwoods in the right side. And bombs. No, nothing major, although the first small key to Skullwoods is nice. Just makes routing easier if you want to check the items there. It is also worth noting that none of the keys are required to beat the game, but several of them make things a lot more convenient to do so. More overworld glitches from red. Just a nice little shortcut to check K45. TR small is a good small to find. And Malmo's setting up a bomb juke, but she only has one. Well, she has 0 bombs left now. Has to get it on this try. And she does get it. Oh, this is what's known as a door juke, where you can use an item to force link onto the other side of a transition. So when you approach that transition from the side that the game does not expect you to, it takes you to a different room. And in this case, Mini Moldarm Cave connects to King's Tomb. Where is Malmo going? Is this a capacity upgrade? Yes. The bomb capacity upgrade has become a popular thing to do in this mode for good reason. And it is the most value for your rupees to get the 15 bombs for 100. Alright, Malmo is into Hera. Going to check the first two checks. Do not have any items to really progress farther yet. Oh, Master Sword early is nice. If she wanted to, she could clip into the sewers to check Dark Cross, but I'm not surprised that she didn't. Because death warping with Blue Mail would have been time consuming, but that is an option that is available. The Ice Rod on Spectacle Rock. The first of two. We may not see the other one, but almost certainly Red is going to see that as well. Red is rescuing the old man. Malmo is reading the sign. Our winner of last year's tournament is tracking this very race. Krithel, thank you for tracking. And Malmo gets dead rocked. So unfortunate. Trying to check the floating island. And just a compass. Red is gonna get his first sword in Hera. Having a sword in Spiral Cave, she has two swords, what a luxury. The mountain is often an early play for glitched rando. And seeing it done safely is always nice. Oh, drops the hover, like, right at the very end. He doesn't need that heart container anyway. Probably just getting warmed up on the hovering. There inevitably will be other heart containers and pieces of heart that he picks up without going out of his way. And the Graveyard Ledge Descent from Red as well. Don't think there was anything here though, but worth checking. And it also sets up a Houlihan, as we already saw from Malmo. Oh, map. Maps are good, actually. I take that back. So we've seen the map of Ice and the map of Thieves for sure so far. Not sure if we've seen any other maps. Oh, Malmo going to check Sahasrara. Green Pendant Skullwoods. Bombos in the back, and Magic Powder. Magic Powder is another index setting item, so that may come into play later, and Powder may pull Malmo towards Kakariko, because it is an additional check she can do there, and she'll get her bow from the library. Meanwhile, Red is checking Uncle and perhaps Hyrule Castle as well. Small Key to Desert is one of the best small keys you can find. It's just convenient. There are ways to get around that key, but that Big Key of Ice is a fetch quest. But having the key is nice. That door on the right side of Desert can be used to take you to Swamp, either with 2 potions or the Cane of Samaria. You can also check checks in other areas with that door, from what I understand. If you do a double SDC, you can get an item from Hera as well. I could be mistaken about that, but there are a lot of reasons where having that door open is a good thing. It's interesting that Skullwoods is the green pendant as well, because that's one that you probably want to be a crystal, because it's pretty free to do once you find the fire rod. And with either a sword or the Cane of Samaria, you can reach the back. Okay, fire rod in the same place that it was last race. Just apologize for spoilers, but that is kind of amusing. It's also worth noting that this key that Red is about to get in the ball and chain guard. Oh, and the nice ice rod strats. Anyways, this key is one of 4 cave state big keys. And the significance of that is that we don't always enter dungeons through the front door. So if you get there from a glitch, whether that's a clip, or a juke, or a YBA, a hook push, or however you do it, basically if you don't enter a dungeon through the front door, you do not have a dungeon ID. So you can explore a dungeon in what is known as cave states, and one of the 4 cave state big keys, any of them will allow you to open big key locks, such as doors and the big chests themselves. A magic bat from Malmo. We didn't see this yet, just 20 rupees. Oh, sorry, I missed the lamp. Wow, okay, sorry about that. The lamp is hugely important in No Logic, and it's not for seeing in the dark. It is the best item to help with misslotting because it sets a very high search index. We need it to be 10 or above for most misslotting glitches. I'd have to imagine Red will get that soon, and from what we've seen last race, the items they have so far, Red will be able to make better use of that lamp than Malmo, because she's not super comfortable with the overworld conveyors. They're having the Moon Pearl that is a little less powerful than it otherwise would be, but there are still cases where it might be helpful. But meanwhile, Red also gets the juke to King's Tomb. So Red going to Ice Rod Cave, probably going to get the sword out of the waterfall. And Malmo also doing the quadrant glitch that we saw from Red. A slightly different setup, but there are a lot of ways to do this. Okay, so Malmo has gotten her Moon Pearl out of Desert. That was definitely the most important thing there. Oh, this sword was on Zora ledge, not the Y. No, Malmo got a sword early from somewhere. I'm maybe misplacing where it was. Okay, I have no idea where she got the sword then. completely missed something. Oh, it was... Oh. Oh, goodness. Okay, there was a sword under the bridge. Well, I'm less certain that Red is going to get that. I mean, he could choose to go there at any time, but... It's a one-off at this point. And this is not like a non-glitched mode where you could be like, oh, I'll just check it when I'm on my way to pod with the mirror, because we don't go to pod that way. And they may never find the mirror either. Red into the dark world with a non-corrected camera. Looks like Red is setting up a super jump. So this is a way to get to South Dark World quickly without the use of a glove. Okay, so crystals at Thieves and Ice. Swamp as a pendant. So we know two of the pendants, so Swamp and Skull. So Red going into Swamp to correct his camera. And Malmo also gets the same info, but also knows the green pendant already from Sahasrara. Red did not go there yet. But the jump that Red used to get here is multiple screen wraps that basically allows you to jump to the bottom of the map. And going into any dungeon or multi-entrance cave, or what's known as an EG1 location, will correct the camera. So, into Hype Cave. Big Key to Hera is a good one. It can be bypassed, but having it is nice. So Malmo, meanwhile, into North Dark World while Red approaches from the south. Oh, I missed it. Pod, and what was the other one? Oh, we already know Ice. Never mind. A pod being a crystal is nice, because we do not need any items other than bombs to reach the boss of Palace of Darkness. So Malmo going straight for this big key chest is interesting. Maybe just to get it out of the way. Meanwhile, Red has clipped into the mire area, so he gets some improperly loaded rain effects. Gets the dash through the spark. Hookshot in Pot Prison in Skull Woods. Okay, so with the items Malmo has, she's now able to do hook pushing, specifically stuck pushing, which is a very powerful glitch that can be used to go through walls, bypass key doors, and a variety of other things. The flippers are convenient if she wants to go to Swamp, although we know that's a pendant, so that's not really a significant find. Okay, right away, setting an index. Okay, Malmo's setting up a stuck push. This will take her to the back of Skullwoods without the use of the fire rod. And being that she has the lamp, this will allow her to do the torches room and access the boss. There is a way also with the King of Samaria to bypass that room as well, but doing the torches is a fairly simple bomb jump with the lamp. It's not an issue. She's having a little bit of trouble with this. Takes damage. Yeah, the sword beam can use a slot, and that can make it more difficult to set up this particular kind of hook push. Because she's going for a very standard setup with the 3 arrows, 2 bombs. Okay, so she gets the first part. I'm worried she's a little bit high, but hopefully not. Okay, good. Okay, meanwhile, Red into Thieves Town, and we have our first bottle under the bridge in the back of Skullwoods. Oh, she's not even doing the boss because it's a pendant, and because Swamp is also a pendant, there's no motivation really, because a popular thing to do is to dupe the Swamp crystal out of Skullwoods, but Swamp is not a crystal this time. I like this play a lot. She just did it for the item check. I would not have thought to do that, because that's kind of out of the way, but it paid off very big for her. The bottles are a very powerful item for glitches. Potions can be used to bypass a variety of requirements, such as keys or what would normally be considered a progression item. So with one bottle and with stuck pushing and the Master Sword, and she has Bombos and the lamp, she has potentially a lot of things she can do with all of those things. Because we know ice is a crystal, so, well, but she's about to get the fire rod, I think, in Hyrule Castle, but if she had missed that, she would still be able to do ice, though. Okay, so Red into Skullwoods, going to get his hook shot and probably the flippers, although that's less important in this seed. The Malmo is doing Hyrule Castle, so will get the fire rod in the boomerang chest, and might be slightly amused by that location. Yeah, it's interesting that there have been no other cave state big keys yet. Well, I see that Red picked up the TR Big, which can be a nice key to have. I'm assuming that was in the village or Thieves Town or somewhere from his south to north Dark World route. Oh, and right, also worth mentioning that Red checked the Meyer medallion. We do not know if Meyer is a crystal yet, but if it is, the medallion is one of the most time-consuming items in the game to bypass if we have to do that. And we already know from Malmo that Bombos is in Sahasrah's closet, so it's not that hard to get, but Red does have to choose to go there. Okay, save and quit to the mountain for Malmo. Where are we going? Okay, this is a setup for Kiki Skip. I'm gonna do a screen wrap. This is a shortcut to get to Spectacle Rock Cave. And from here she's going to set up a bomb clip. This will take her directly into Palace of Darkness. So since Malmo used a clip to get here and did not enter through the front door, the dungeon has not been assigned an ID, so this is cave state exploration, which means that she can open any small key doors that she wants to, and with the cave state big key, the other locks as well are not a problem. And specifically, that clip that she used to get here is unique because it wraps the entire underworld map and despawns the sprites as well. So this is a very peaceful exploration of the dungeon for now. Meanwhile, Red has gone to Hera and used his hookshot to reach the top. Not finding anything so far, but I'd imagine he's going to fight Moldorm and get info on the prize of Tower of Hera. Big key of Skullwoods after we were already there. Classic. Oh, Red having a time with Moldorm. Very impressive that he didn't fall there. And there's some hookshot blocking. Very nice fight. Any fight with Moldorm where you don't fall is a success in my book. And gets just a pendant, but that is full information though. So Red now knows that Bombos is important, but Malmo doesn't know that yet. Red still needs a sword and probably some other things to finish the game. With a boomerang, he could do a push to Trinex. Although this fight would be impossible right now with this equipment. Yeah, Red just really needs to find more offense somewhere, because these boss fights are going to be awful. Meanwhile, Malmo is continuing to explore Palace of Darkness. This is a very popular place to go in No Logic, because there are a bunch of free checks. And I don't think she's found anything particularly interesting. GT Big Key is not very important in this mode, especially if you already have a Cave State Big Key. Alright, by exiting and re-entering the dungeon, Malmo has entered the dungeon in pod state. So right now she's setting up a glitch called statue drag to Helmstore. And by storing a statue pulling animation, we can use this to juke the door. And as we've seen earlier, when you do not trigger transitions and get past them, the game handles this in some possibly surprising ways. So the result of this is that she's going to be able to move through the underworld map while still being visible on the same screen. And she's going to end up in the boss's room after all of this. There are 2 bombs in the door, pulling and letting go. Unfortunately misses it. This is, in my opinion, the tricky part. With the second bomb, you have to time your pull back so that the bomb snaps you onto a specific coordinate. And she gets it this time. Pulls the statue through the front door, and you can see that she's actually visibly wrapped. So she just needs to pick up the pots, step on the switch a couple times, and transition down. And now we are in the Helmasaur fight. I mean, she's very low on health, so she chooses to bomb herself out of the spike to get an extra hit from the boss. She needs to be a little careful. Oh, I missed the hammer in pod. The hammer is a really nice luxury for this fight, or for any boss fight, really. It's stronger than the Master Sword. It's tempered sword damage. The hammer is a good find. It's not as valuable as normally in a non-glitched mode, but it certainly is nice to have. And that was a very nice fight for Malmo. Okay, meanwhile Red is going back in the Dark World. Hey, this looks like a hookshot cave and Super Bunny play. He could also use hook pushing to go to the top of GT and get item checks there if he wants to. Just going through the right wall in hookshot cave will allow you to do that. Remembering that he doesn't have a glove, so he has to go down and set up a little clip to do a screen wrap. He's going to enter Hookshot Cave through the back door. Meanwhile, Malmo back in pod still. It is faster to do these right side checks this way, because you don't have to walk back out. Because even though she found the hammer, you are not able to progress past those pegs in cave state. Because the switch is just not there. The blue boomerang is a very significant find because they already have stuck pushing available. The boomerangs can be used to modify a stuck push, and the main way of doing that is known as a 0A stuck push, which gives you a high distance value for going north. Get our second bottle in Hookshot Cave. Alright, Malmo is going to Eastern. This clip is a nice little screen wrap, so it's a shortcut to get in the front door a little bit faster. It's worth noting that these big keys that they're finding, while nice, are not really that helpful. Alma has the Thieves Town key, so she can do it from the front, which is faster than coming in from the top or the bottom, like you would normally see in this mode. And the desert big key that RedKitsune8 found will allow him to do the dungeon, to the back of the dungeon normally, if he wants to. There are reasons why you might not want to do that regardless, but that might not be a thing in this seed, and he might not be thinking about it. Okay, Red is setting up a stuck push, and so is Malmo. Malmo is doing this to bypass the big key door in Eastern. I'm not sure where Red is trying to go right now. I'm not familiar with this, with hook pushing in this particular room. Well, Malmo was successful at her push. Successfully has bypassed the big key requirement of Eastern. It was very nice that Malmo got that quickly, because that room can be kind of annoying because you don't have a whole lot of room to set that up. I would say it's definitely not the first stuck push that you learn. The timing is tighter for the shorter the distance the hook has to travel. You have to be very fast on your inputs. So Red also has reached Eastern, but in cave state. Now, I have never seen this before from anyone. That's interesting. Second crystal on the board for Malmo. So Red unlocking the big key door from behind in Cave State. It will be interesting to see what else he does with this Cave State. Because he could take this to other places, like Meyer, most notably, if he wants to. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now. A north push in this room will take him to the front room of Meyer. Gets it very quickly. Nicely done. So Malmo going to take on Moldorm, going to get her full pendant and crystal information. Yeah, catching up with chat a little bit here. It is interesting that Red used the ice rod for that push. There, as far as I can tell, that wasn't necessary at all. He could have used an easier, like, standard sword, bow, and bomb setup. But nonetheless, he got it done. And finds a bottle in the Meyer big chest, so that's his second bottle, and the third that we know of. That is going to be helpful for Red, however, what Red really needs to find is a sword. Although, with having more bottles, having more magic for some of the boss fights like Trinex and Cold Stare, well, it definitely makes those more approachable. Although without the boomerang that Malmo has, it will be difficult for her. Well, I suppose he could just hover it. He's done it before. Red is kind of ridiculous with his hovers sometimes, but more power to him if he can get that done. Meanwhile, Malmo into Thieves Town through the front door, as I kind of expected. So, catching up with chat again. So, when you do the Ice Rod strat, do you not lay any bombs at all? Because you can do a stuck push with using only 2 bombs. And the Ice Rod also uses a lot of magic, so I'm not sure that it's necessarily less resource intensive, it's just different resources. The Silver Arrow is on the left side of Meyer. That'll help him if he does the boss fight here, definitely. It's also another thing that can be used for misslotting. And the book is totally useless to Red because you need 2 swords or 3 pendants to make. Well, you don't even need it for Ped, but you need 2 swords to check the tablets, so that is not going to help Red at all. He could read the Ped if he wants to, or scout a potential location of a sword that he can't get yet. They're showing some frustration with the fire snake. Gets the door state extension rail clip very quickly. Malmo taking out the stealth boss with a bomb. That's interesting. Okay, meanwhile, Red is setting up another push. If he succeeds, this will take him to Turtle Rock. And he does. So there are 2 bombs in this room that he can farm if he wants to, for the sake of more resources. His camera is definitely messed up, though. Alright, so Red has successfully navigated to the other side of the room. We're going to be able to check Laser Bridge. Meanwhile, Malmo into the blind fight. Third crystal for Malmo. Making pretty quick progress in this seed. Second fire rod on Laser Bridge, that's kind of unfortunate. But interesting that it was accessible though, without using a fire source. I'm surprised Red doesn't go by bomb capacity. I mean, it definitely takes time to get over there, but I'm not sure where he's going right now. It's obviously desert, but you can go to other places from desert. Okay, so he wants to do the boss right now. So Malmo is continuing to do overworld checks, about to clip to Meyer, so she's going to get her info on the medallion, which is going to be a huge relief. Because with stuck pushing, she can reach the boss regardless of not having the big key or the cane of Samaria. Okay, so Red just going the normal way to Landmo. The Wall of Shame, as this has been referred to. We've seen, unfortunately, too many times in this tournament. Second ice rod on Landmo. Also, probably not what he wanted to see. Malmo has the privilege of doing Meyer 2 with the regular camera. It's much faster. So Red has completed desert and saves and quits because he's trapped behind the rocks. Where are we going now, Red? Potion shop. sets up a fake flipper with flippers. I definitely have done that before. Sorry, Krithel, I forgot that you personally had been, you know, confronted about moving the wall. Many people have been joked about for doing that, but it does get you to the boss. Just a heart container on the mushroom turn-in. A red is buying a blue and a red. I'm curious what he's going to do with those. Meanwhile, Malmo is doing a stuck push to get to the boss of Meyer. Well, this is going to take her to Spooky 3. Oh, unfortunately, does not correctly release the stored hook. But she has to get this one north in this room, and she could use the boomerang for this as well if she wants to not even have to bother with all this cramped space up here, but this is one way to do it that works, and she gets it. Very nice. Now she has to do one more push to get past the big key door and into the boss room. But there's plenty of room to set this one up, and only one enemy to worry about. This is way easier than doing it in the room that she just already did. So Red has found Bombos. That's really good news for him. And back into Eastern, probably going to clear the boss since he already unlocked the door to do so. Okay, Malmo gets the push into the Vitreous fight. And not taking any chances with this Master Sword fight. Just doing burn-a-dashes. Kinda interesting that she chose this instead of the cape, because Burna is a very laggy item, but both are very safe strats for this fight. And gets it done. Very nice. That is going to be 4 crystals already for Malmo. So I maybe should have commented about this earlier, but Malmo, the only thing that I think she's probably looking for right now is a sword, just to make things nicer, but she's definitely been in go mode for quite some time now. Meanwhile, Red not having that sword from under the bridge is very unfortunate. Okay, so Red coming back into Eastern. I'm guessing this is just to get to Meyer, or maybe he hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't checked this yet. This makes sense. Not sure if we saw this from Malmo. Unfortunately, it's nothing. Oh, huh, where is this push going to go? I've never seen anyone use this room. Meanwhile, Malmo gets to the boss of Desert without moving the wall. And 5 crystals already for Malmo. Okay, Red gives up, or ran out of bombs actually. I'll have to look on the map later, or if I forget to ask Red where that goes. I've never seen that one before. And sorry if someone was trying to tell me in chat, because I was having issues with my SpeedGaming tab. And Red does get his sword. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, Malmo almost went for the red, but remembers that she needs a blue to fight Cold Stare without VRAM. When I say VRAM, I mean VRAM corruption, which is very interesting and can be fun to do, but I'd say fighting a Master Sword Cold Stare is not ideal, even with half magic and fire rod. The VRAM fight is a little risky. It's certainly doable, but she would have to do a hard reset after the fight, which wastes time in a race. Although not going to ice right away, though. Maybe he wants to do Trinex first? Okay, this makes sense. Meanwhile, Red, not having the Thieves Town big key, is going to Cave State Thieves Town, setting up a YBA in the Uncle Passage. And Malmo is setting up a mirrorless wrap. This will take her directly to Laser Bridge. That was nicely done by Malmo, and she's checking Laser Bridge. So far, not finding anything. And again, I apologize for not reading chat. My browser is having issues with Twitch right now. Trying to refresh. Yeah, but we did know there was nothing good on Laser Bridge from Red, because he came here from Meyer earlier. So meanwhile, Red has successfully YBA'd into Thieves Town from the Uncle Passage in Cave State, able to open up all the doors and locks. Okay, so Malmo is going to set up another 0A stuck push. This is the same thing that we saw in Eastern. Alright, gets it very nicely. Oh, she wanted the potion for the Trinex fight. I maybe understand now. And if she doesn't use it, then that's great. She already has it for ice. Although, shouldn't have any issues though. Though having the hammer is really nice for this fight. The Master Sword just doesn't do that much damage. Well, deciding to stick with the sword for the second head, though. Alright, nicely done. There's already 6 crystals for Malmo at the hour mark. A very, very good pace through this seed. So Malmo just has to do Cold Stare. I'd imagine she will do on the way checks for a tempered sword. But after that, there are a couple of ways she can get to the Agatute fight, which will lead to Ganon. I'd imagine we're going to see a YBA lava dive, unless she finds something else. It is possible to do a hook push into the lava to warp to Agatute, but I have only seen a couple people do that so far, and both with different setups. Okay, restocking on bombs and arrows. So for those that are not aware, Malmo will be able to reach the Cold Stare fight without using the glove or hammer, even though she has the hammer. She's just going to do what is known as a spin YBA once she gets to the room right before the fight. Meanwhile, Red on his way to fight blind. Okay, Mallo's setting up another push. This will take her directly into Ice Palace in Cave State, but it's near the top, so she will be able to just reload the dungeon and clear it relatively normally. I'd imagine we're going to see an Ice Palace bomb jump, since we do not have Samaria. Sorry, I was quiet for a moment. I was trying to reload SpeedGaming on my browser so I could read chat as well. I kept getting errors, but Malmo is just doing Ice Palace, which we've all seen before, and Red was doing checks we've seen before as well. We know he's not going to find a sword or anything helpful, but it looks like Red is following her into Ice Palace, though. So Red is choosing to do the YBA method instead of doing a hook push. And gets it. Oh, Malmo exploring Ice Palace and so far not finding a sword or anything helpful. Now, Samaria is somewhat helpful, a little too late, but that makes the lava dive easier than doing a YBA. Kind of a nasty spot for that, deep in Ice Palace. Okay, Malmo opening the door and doing the select menu on purpose so that when you do a blue IBA, you get a text box, so she will not have to worry about timing the release of the spin. And she gets it. Very nice. So when you drink a potion on the same frame as a screen transition, it can have a variety of effects, and this is a spin YBA. Or if you charge your sword and release it during the potion effect, it modifies the effect of the YBA. And in this specific case, we can reach Cold Stare without using a glove or hammer. Alright, well, 7 crystals already for Malmo. Just has to get to Agatu and Ganon. So I'd imagine we are going to see the big chest in TR checked, and possibly the lava chest checked using Samaria as a shortcut. Because the Master Sword Ganon fight is not trivial at all. It is very slow and it's very dangerous. She realized after, oh no, decides to give up on it. It looked like she realized she could have checked the chest there, but nonetheless, seeing what is known as a North STC, or Samaria Transition Corruption. And this is one way of doing the lava dive, and the lava directly warps you to the Agatu fight. Okay, Agatu is down for Malmo. Oh, just misses the clay, but was not quite deep enough in the wall. So Red on his way to pod. Unfortunately, is going to need a lot of trouble from Malmo on Ganon. And I do mean a lot of trouble. She has a long time to get this done. Alright, Master Sword Ganon, 52 spin fight. No, not easy. Probably the hardest fight that you will ever do in this game. Does have the cape available and half magic, so it could be worse. And not going for Samaria double hits either. Alright, phase 1 is down. 12 hits for phase 2. A nice bat dodging. Needs to be a little careful here. Yeah, takes out the cape. And holding the wall to do a glitch so the magic doesn't drain. And phase 2 is down. Just needs to do 4 spins for phase 3. And then 24 spins for phase 4. Well, we saw from Red that the arrows were in Mire, but unfortunately Malmo did not check that side. Okay, so Malmo not taking any chances, even though she has more than enough magic to use the fire rod. She's using the lamp anyway. Being very safe with this fight. At least as safe as you can be with 2.5 hearts anyway. Okay, switching to fire rod, probably realizes that she can do some triples and has a little room for error at this point. Meanwhile, Red did the same glitch that we saw from Malmo earlier, the statue drag to Helmsor. Gets his fight done. Oh, Malmo continuing to spin to win. Honestly, paying attention for this long period of time is part of the struggle, because she's past the most difficult parts of the fight. Just needs to maintain and not get hit. Alright, Ganon is down for Malmo. Very nice. Everybody, please get your GGs in chat for Malmo. So this is a very fast completion time for this seed. Malmo has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 59 seconds. GG. And Red has decided to forfeit upon seeing the finish. We should be getting Malmo in for an interview shortly. We have both of them in the setup. Okay, I am joined by Malmo and RedKitsune8. GG to both of you. Congratulations, Malmo.
Thank you.
Well, that was a very fast seed, and you played it very well. That 112 is a good time.
Yeah, hook pushing will do that. I'm glad Red got that too. I was worried that he would just never go to Skull and not find bottle and hook shot, which is, I never found another bottle, so I don't know what I would have done.
Red did find 2 bottles. One was in Hookshot Cave and one was in the Mire big chest. And he also got silvers on the left side of Mire. I believe it's the compass chest with the pegs and the spikes in that room. But, yeah, that was an interesting seed. So for you, Malmo, when did you think that you were in go mode? I know you were probably checking for a sword along the way, but when Was it the hook shot?
I'm gonna let you guess because it's kind of a funny one.
Oh, the boomerang, probably.
Yeah, it's the boomerang. Because I didn't have a TR plan
that
until
was
then, or an Eastern plan that was like not terrible. I could have done like
And
some
the
kind of Thieves Town thing, but I didn't want to do that.
The boomerang was in checkerboard, is that correct?
I got mine in pod bow locked.
Oh, in pod. Oh, man, I must be mixing up with another seed.
You know,
oh well.
last race was a boom in checkerboard.
Okay, well, I noticed that you had a fire rod in the boomerang chest as well, this seed, same as last seed. So now that you mention it, I do remember it was as you did a sword slash for that arena ledge chest and pod, so yeah, I do remember that now.
That was my go mode.
No, do you have any particular thoughts about the seed, or did you enjoy it? Or
it was a fun seed, but it's really hard not to enjoy a hook pushing seed. I got to do exactly one YBA in the entire seed.
Yeah, that King of Samaria showing up in the ice big chest, I mean, a little later than you would have liked to see it, but still helpful.
I reduced the number of YBAs I needed to do by one, so I was happy to see that, even though I purposely did TR before ice, hoping for a glove, and got the opposite.
So I saw that when you were going to TR the second time to get to Agatu, that you went back through the door after you transitioned to the left. Were you thinking that you should have checked the big chest and possibly the lava chest, or what was?
Yeah.
Was there any thought there?
Yeah, okay. I should have done sword checks on the way out. I forgot I had the big key, but then I remembered. There's two really easy sword checks here. I can go up to butter if it's in the right one.
We did not see those checks. I do not believe from either of you. So I don't know. I guess we'll never know. But I was just curious if because that's an easy mistake to make. I believe I've done that before in a seed as well. Unfortunately for Red, though, he was, in addition to being just a little bit behind, did not check the man under the bridge for quite some time and did several checks looking for a sword, I'm assuming. Is that correct, Red?
And a bottle most of the time, because I only have one bottle for how to get to trainers. I was considering hover and so, but I don't know. Sword was the main thing because 3 warping the era sword was possible, but I didn't want to. I don't know. I am happy with the seed. Like, I have only made like one mistake, but GG's for Malmo.
Well, I did really enjoy watching your approach to the seed as well, Red. So, Red showed us a hook push that I was not familiar with from Super Bunny Cave into Eastern in Cave State and unlocked Eastern that way, and that was very interesting. And also was attempting another hook push in the map chest room of Eastern, but I think that you ran out of bombs or something. I'm curious, where would that have taken you if you succeeded?
That room is kind of junk. That is next to the Thief Town, the one before the attic. So I wanted to take the small key and complete Thief Town directly and not going from Uncle. It was only going for going a little bit quick. But I know that is a junky room. I have tried the hook pushing there, and maybe I should try Silver's hook pushing or another kind of hook pushing because it was not working with arrows and bones.
Well, that's interesting. I've never seen you do a lot of routing that I don't see from other people, and it was interesting. You also showed us the push from Meyer to TR to check Laser Bridge, and I believe we've seen that before in one of your other races, but it's still not very often seen. I thought that was interesting. There's so many ways to tackle these seeds, and it's really, really cool to see what kind of ideas people come up with to do that. I really enjoyed it, although unfortunately taking a loss here, but I still really liked watching you play, both of you. It was just a fun race to watch and to commentate.
As Malmo said, it was also a fun seed to play because who pushing really early. I have a lot of ideas what I can do, what I cannot, what things I can solve, what I can't. So it was fun. It was very fun. The first seed, this morning for me seed, I was a little bit sad because it was a lot of mistakes from my part. But this one, I am pretty happy with what I have done. Malmo is just faster, and I knew it before doing the race, and I am happy to get here and then the loser brackets.
Yeah, you're still in this.
Yeah,
Look forward to whoever you race. I think that side of the bracket is still resolving a lot of pairings, so we don't know who you're going to play, but you get to relax for a bit. I get to play Krithel. I'm so excited.
that is going to be quite a matchup, I have to say. But yes, as was just said, this is a winners bracket match, so meaning RedKitsune8 is not out of the tournament. Still will get to play at least 2 more games in the lower bracket, and I'm excited for those. Okay. We have a race later tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, Tam versus Fox Lisk. Sorry, would either of you like to share any more thoughts about the seed or about the tournament?
Nope, that'll be all.
Right, well, congratulations.
Thanks again for the restreaming the first race and this race.
Oh yes, thank you to Drossi for helping out with this. Thank you, Krithel, for tracking the race. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Yeah, this tournament has been a lot of fun, and so make sure to stay posted for other games. Like I said, 11 p.m. tonight, Tam versus Fox. And can't wait for Krithel versus Malmo, and Red, whoever your future opponent may be. So thanks for watching, everyone.